Hello. Uh, Real quick, shout out to AKA Doofy for the offline follow. Offline follows are very appreciated. A little bit nerfed today. I woke up with a little bit of ear blockage. Don't know what that's about, but and I have used some ear like earwax, like dissolvent solution, whatever the fuck it's called. Already used some, and it helped. Good lot. Still got a little bit blockage, but we'll use some later. What are we doing? Oh, okay. Oh no. Ah. Yeah, so we've only got about like 35 quests left from what I have been told. And at the rate at which I play, that's probably like this stream and one, maybe two more streams. So I'm sure that will be quite a welcome change to be out of A Realm Reborn for people watching. My knights send no word of your coming, Yuna. What has happened? What is that in your hand? By the Fury, those are veterans with years of service. And now they lie dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered, and... No. No, we have not the men to spare. Not now. Not while Iceheart prepares to summon an abomination. The heretics you dispatched were not of sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. There must be others, and I'll wager they are on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable of the guardsmen's watches at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there long before he aroused our suspicions. Would that we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was weakest. They could use our tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course it will be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. House Durandare must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing knights from the Stone Vigil. I can see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. It's a sick horse. What the fuck? Yeah, sure, whatever. Was a sick fucking horse. Yuna, this is a welcome surprise. Perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... I'm sorry, I felt a loose, stranded hair that was bothering me, so I was pinning it up. You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Leveilleur been informed? The Braves must be made aware. It must be here. I am certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it. This is all wrong. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our own skins when we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this damnable summoning. Only my pride. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to some half-dozen tunnels after spotting the enemy breaking the surface. But that is not all, sir. We think that one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Just as I suspected. Amongst this warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alphino. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they know? What if they were to converge on this point after we entered the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more a hindrance than help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. A change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Emmerich and keep the heretics at bay here, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown, to see that you are prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies, though not too many people or Papolimo will sulk. So bossy. By the way, I've been making a little bit of lore on Alphinote. I don't know. Like, so at this point in the story, a lot of people were like, I don't really care for him. I see him as like a bullyable younger sibling. So like that's how Yuna views him, as like he's just uh, a younger brother. I have a couple other NPCs that I've decided are important based on how much I like them. But we shall discuss that later. Holy shit, he's tall. The entrance to the tunnel, madam. It is just over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would never have noticed it. Per Sir Emmerich's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. Yippee. Uh, one second. Okay. I was looking to see if I could summon a little bit of help, but help is unavailable currently. If we end up waiting longer than 5 minutes, then we'll just do the party of NPCs. I can't wait to get Gunbreaker. Mostly for better Q times as a tank. And like, yeah, I could get better Q times already, but none of the ARR tank jobs particularly interest me. You know what? Actually, I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. Dude, you know what? Dead ass. This feels like, with how peaceful the music is and how like how chill the this straight up sounds like a Minecraft uh soundtrack. Like fucking dead ass. I vibe with it though. The white bear drops a tiny key. The door to silence doesn't look very silent over there, but Yeah, I was about to say, surely you've got a different uh soundtrack than the fucking Minecraft ass. Okay, so what was I supposed to do about that? Dude, what the shit? I saw one of the NPCs say, balls, bloody balls. And it's like, like, I don't know, man. Bloody balls do not sound very pleasant. Oh, hello. Also, kind of funny as shit seeing the tank just teleport in. Oh, shit. pretty awesome that they had us, you know, on the fucking bridge. Oh, okay. That's cool. Ouchie. Yay. Finger of the Apostate. Low key, I don't know. Kinda looked like a Fallout Deathclaw, but if it had like ice powers. I don't know. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, hey. I'm not the tank. Oh. There we go. This is a... Oh. Hybrid gator. What's it a hybrid of? Ow. Oh. I'm not sure I entirely know what's going on half the time with people just appearing and disappearing, but, you know, it's whatever. Yippee. Been rare. Sick. Oh, God. Damn it. Shit. Okay. Slicing up its ankles pretty good. Oh, already. Yippee. That was okay.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light.
Oh.
Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light. I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
That took longer than expected. What news, Yuna? So, Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. What you think's like, oh, here's your child. What shall we name them? Iceheart. Like, that she managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of that beast, you did well to come as close as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for their fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it too. 12 be praised, Yuna. We may yet turn the situation to our advantage. Assuming we stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Minfilia and Urianger have been busy perusing the archives of House Forton, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Which reminds me, if you were intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on the day's events, don't. The antecedent should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. Ah, her coat's so cute. I love it. Antecedent. You come to us straight from the archives of House Forton. I trust your time there proved fruitful. Would that it had. Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins according to the Ishgardian faith. So, she kind of freaky, huh? Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Forton. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case one wonders if it is by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice. Most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Emmerich might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Emmerich. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Halone that your ancestors came to this land? Why they took up arms against the Dravonians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. It was a different time, nay, a different era, and the scriptures tell us only so much. Would that it told us more. That man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure, less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that our Ice Heart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Moggle Mog XII. The myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Moggle's guard. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia. They have them both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the aetheryte Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another aetheryte somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of the second aetheryte, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Charlayan may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Minfilia looks into our aetheryte problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Kurthus is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. Good. I knew you would understand. Yu Hase can apprise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilbert and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. Also, I didn't mention it when she appeared on screen, but uh, one of the characters that is one of the NPCs that is important is Minfilia. Yuna, my warrior of light, has a canon crush on Minfilia. Well, I say canon. Head canon. But you know what I meant, right? Balls, my ankle is on fire. Caught my boot on a rock or something and twisted it as I fell. The others went on ahead through Danafin Pass. Oh, come on. Ion, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. There's a great scaled beast in Yu Hase. I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. Dude, can I target? How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretic's tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest, and lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? Yeah. I am through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those blue coats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. We'll stay with her then if you think you'll fare any better. Yugiri. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will. Fancy meeting you here, Yuna. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither. What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. It came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Alphinaud is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills. Skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. Yeah, come on. That is a most generous offer, Lady Mary, and one which I would gladly accept. Captain Ilbert seems confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know when we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. That looks pretty sick, honestly. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us not that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. Excuse me. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. You will recall the flame we first identified as being the Ivy's employ. From him, we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Hearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Fortune. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved. But what of the Ivy? I dare say we are. A relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider, then, that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspect is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is among Raubon's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flame's establishment. is the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the three grand companies, Old Oz was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Be gone, but oh, both Lemsa Lamensa and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom in the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Old Oz military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raubon faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed. And given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now, aye. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, it was not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Nail von Darnus's ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked simply supplying Raubon with an army. It is but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood. I shall send word to Sir Emmerich, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully, the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Yuna. As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Lot of yapping. Her, her title was just Milk. Okay. I will be right back. Are we good? There we go. Okay. Might check. Yeah. Fog, Gridania ambience indeed. Oh. What's in my inventory? Quite a lot. Gigi's best friend. Oh, there's a brave guy there. That's cool. Alfie. My thanks for coming. Sure, if you wanna. When you are ready, speak with a conjurer yonder. She will show us to the lotus stand. Oh, whoops.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign.
Cool. I'll check that out later.
Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor. Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
Everyone sounds... Am I tripping? Or does everyone sound different all of a sudden? So I know, like, some point the voice actor studio changed. But was this the point in which the new actors took over?
"'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Yeah, this is post ARR MSQ. Okay.
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
I'm just saying that because Alfie's voice sounded a little bit deeper. Little, just a teensy bit different.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
That would make sense. Give me 1 second. Okay.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it.
Yeah, you saying that, with that, like, context of analysis, it's like, okay, yeah, I can still hear old the old guy, but it sounds like he was given a bit new direction. Yeah, because he's had the same voice actor from Heaven's Word onward, correct? So even though this is the old guy, the new guy has been the voice for longer.
If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming.
That's crazy.
So long as the ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this: deep-rooted mistrust among the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Lumensons, for instance. Though Admiral Merlvib outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. And likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Oldon scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Oldon society, Adeleji Adeleji, for example. But that is besides the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflicts. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects. And by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Yuna. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest. Yeah, it's been a lot of back and forth talking to people. My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. Oh, that's quite the name for the NPC back there. Nicolio. I believe that's how you say it. Nicolio? From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Ah, are you shitting me? Okay. Um... Okay. Listen well. The spy we have been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Aline Roi. Roi? Roi. I don't know how you. Raubon's second in command. Okay. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with a polearm has had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself. When he formed the Green Company, Rabon chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The Monetarists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they served their right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And 'twas no secret that they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians, especially after the way the Holy See forsook the Alliance. Yet the Monetarists did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Roy, how the fuck do you say that actually, was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the monitorists. But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is her presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the immortal flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Raubon attended the Council of Alliance Leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless, on some pretense. She is up to something. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames records for evidence of her guilt. But if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks, every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely upon your eyes, Scion? You have my thanks. Okay. I may actually... Ooh, wow, quite the gathering in here. Oh, whoops. Okay, well. Hmm. Ah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So to even think about storing, I need more glamour prisms. Okay, well, I'll sort that out later. I just read in the in-game chat there are other Final Fantasy games. Oh my god. Yeah, no, the 14 was just for decoration. Looks like a fucking Monster Hunter character. Probably is, because there was that collab. Said upper floor, didn't he? How do I actually get to the upper floor? I can only go down, but... Down was where I was supposed to go regardless. Nowhere to be seen. And you are sure she did not board an airship? She did not come back out either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some moon toy tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great vigor. Hey man, you want some Viagra? Wait, that necklace. You were a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Thank the 12 for the domins. Okay. It'd be quicker if I just teleport. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorne Hut. If she is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Garlean masters there. An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. While our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In doing so, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. She would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Thanalan without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. 'Tis for this reason I believe that she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The Elazin are a common sight there, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hotham's hut and catch her in the act. My people report that our quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The ivy returns to the gnarls whence she came, but perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen and I shall wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. I want to keep going for a little bit, but I am getting a little hungry. And I'm also quite tired. I didn't sleep great. Shocker, when do I ever sleep great? Just beyond, she is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer. an Imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it, with me. Blame Marshal Elaine Roy, 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 I don't know how. You are under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool. Damnation. You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle. But if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelves Wood? When last I looked, that was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then. Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Awesome random crowd cheering. Even a warrior of Roy's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Ul'dah will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now? So the scions seek a way into the Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. Speaking of talents, you have been training in the art of the shinobi, have you not? The change in your bearing is quite evident, to me at least. I look forward to seeing you in action. Actually, wait. Is that dialogue present, if you have taken the ninja job at some point. If so, that's kind of cool. Welcome back, Yuna. I understand that Alphina has a task for you. May I ask what it is? Charges of treason and espionage against Aline. Aline. I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust to the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. I'll be back once more. Okie doke. I am back. As you may recall, Iceheart used the aetheryte in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystals she stole from the House Fortum caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint. But if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped, and stop them we shall. But first, we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Ethernet and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the aetheryte to which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second aetheryte upon arrival, a reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Urianger, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution, which is why we called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise, a colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's Toll from Charlayan. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, mayhap we could welcome her together. I'm certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way to the northern gates and await her coming. All right. Oh.
Minfilia, am I right?
Hello.
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and to thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Charlian scholar and an authority on aetheryte technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
A little bit more than charmed. Let us return to the Rising Stones at once, then. We have much to discuss.
Moon! Gods, it's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on. Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing Aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate a second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetherite.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly.
Oh, whoops.
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the Aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand.
Okay.
Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
I have already informed Alphino of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moonbreeda described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wished to meet with you at Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done on our behalf, Ida. That I have faith you will return to us, as you always have. Oh. Thanks. Thanks, Minfilia. Okay. Oh. I'm thinking roughly in about 15 minutes. Depends on how long this line of quests goes on for. Good to see you, Yuna. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Boy, I was on my fucking way. Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of Ellen of Eveline in Olga even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand. We can discuss the ivy upon your return. I trust that. By which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetheryte. After you, Scion. There. It's ready. Oh, shit. Almost knocked my phone off my desk. It worked. I think. Try attuning to the Aetheryte now. Feel for the current and try to locate the beacon. We have done all we can, Yuna. For now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. If, by the grace of the 12, you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. I like Moonbreeda's, thigh tat. Looks so cool. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual. And if she succeeds, you will have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your own strength will suffice, and so I would encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives on the success of Moonbreeda's experiments, but others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Emmerich. Madam, Sir Emmerich regrets that he could not be here in person and asks that I read you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. Yuna Sokolov, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea. Your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to a greater cause. May Halone bless you with good fortune and see you safely home. Ak Afa. I don't know if I have it in me to do another dungeon. Yeah, I may save this for another day. Yeah. I'm hungry, so I will get a snack. Okay, well, whatever it is, I'm not in the mood for it. I know it's just been under 3 hours, but yeah, I'm hungry and had not slept very well, so. I will it'll probably be Friday. Yeah, probably Friday. So yeah, see you all then.